All right, let's begin with today's class. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so let's begin with today's class. The other people can watch the video or join in later. So, we'll be talking about color psychology today, okay? Color psychology and color harmony. So, listen attentively as I explain what it actually means. So, what is color psychology? Color psychology is actually the study of how colors affect our thinking and behaviors, especially in the marketing brand or in this our field that we are in. Color psychology is focused on how colors impact consumers or impact users. These colors create an impression that makes people understand what the brand is all about. Okay, so now we are going to know the different type of colors we have and what information they pass. Just as our designs can pass information, colors too also represent a lot of things, and that is what we are going to find out today. So, what is color harmony? We've talked about color psychology. So, now what is color harmony? Color harmony actually refers to a property that certain colors can exhibit, and these properties are pleasing to the eye or are good for maybe the atmosphere or something. So these combinations of pleasing colors create a consonance that are harmonious or that looks together. So this is what color harmony is. In essence, all what I've been saying is color harmony is a combination of several colors to create something that matches. Those colors will have to match. That is why we use the word harmony. Now, when we talk about certain colors, we want to see what comes to our mind. Okay, so we are going to try to participate in the class. Okay, so when we talk about the color red, you can type. You can go ahead and type. When we talk about the color red, what comes to your mind? When you see color red, what comes to your mind first? We want to be quick about it, please. When we see color red, what comes to our mind? Danger. Okay, thank you very much. What else? Okay. There are other things too that comes to our mind when we talk about the color red. In as much as color red also symbolizes danger, there are also other positive qualities that color red exhibits. When we see color red, we want to think about excitement, we want to think about strength, we want to think about love. Okay, you say something tragic. Okay, no. Want to think about love, want to think about energy. These are the positive characteristics or qualities that color red exhibits. So when we see this color, these are the things that we should think of, not just danger. We want to also look at the positive aspect of these colors. So now when we talk about color orange, what comes to your mind? When we talk about color orange, what comes to your mind? Okay. Color orange actually, okay, you say nothing. All right. Color orange actually gives us this confidence feeling. Color orange symbolizes confidence, symbolizes success, symbolizes bravery, symbolizes sociability. The reason why we're talking about these colors is so that when you're designing for a particular brand and they give you maybe word problem or word of they give you things or they tell you things that they want you to do, you go ahead and symbolize those things. For example, you're creating a logo and they tell you, okay, this is what we do, this is what we do, this is what our company stand for, this is what the name of the company stand for. You use all those things, put them together and look for certain colors that matches all those description. So color orange symbolizes confidence, success, bravery, and sociability. What about yellow? Yellow symbolizes creativity, happiness, warmth, and cheer. Then green, what do you think about green? What does green stand for? What does it symbolize? Okay, nature, yeah, vegetation, you got it. You got it. So color green symbolizes nature, symbolizes healing, symbolizes freshness, symbolizes quality. Okay. So what about the color blue? What does it symbolize? What do you think of when you see the color blue? Okay, when we see color blue, it actually symbolizes truth. Truth symbolizes peace, loyalty, and competence. Competence. So these are what the color blue symbolizes. So at your own leisure time, or when I give you the material, you can go ahead and check what pink, purple, brown, black, and white symbolizes. So all this color, they all symbolize different things. Okay, they symbolize different things. So you go ahead and research and study what this color represents so that you could use them to convey the proper information a particular brand wants to convey to the users. Okay, so now we're going to see the different type of color harmony that we have. Okay, we have four in total. We have the primary color, we have the secondary color, we have the tertiary color, and we have the complementary color. These are things that you actually learned in secondary school. Now you're actually going to apply them as you move further in your tech career because you actually need them. You can't just start designing without knowing what colors represent and what they stand for and how you can use them. So when we talk about primary color, this involves colors such as red, yellow, blue, and these colors are actually in the color wheel and they are spaced out so that you can combine them with other colors. So these are primary colors. Now when we talk about secondary color, we talk about green, orange, and purple, and you combine when you combine two primary colors, two or three primary colors together, it actually gives you the secondary colors. Now when we're talking about tertiary colors, these are colors that when we combine them with one or more secondary color, it creates something good. These are tertiary colors. For example, when you combine blue and green together, you have blue green. Okay, then when you combine orange and red together, you have orange red. So things like that, these are tertiary colors. Then what are complementary colors? These are two these are colors that are opposites. These are colors that are opposites on the color scheme or the color wheel. For example, you have red and you have green. They are opposites on the color scheme. Let me show you what I mean. Let me show you what I mean. You can see, if you see this drawing here, if you look at this drawing here, you see the green and the red. You can see they're opposite. They're opposite each other, directly facing each other on the color scheme. So this when you combine these colors together, they give you complementary colors. Okay, so we'll actually be installing some plugins today. But firstly, before we install some plugins, we want to go ahead and download or create an account on Figma. So, Favor, I think you're the only one following. Are you with your laptop?
I'm with my laptop, but it's very down.
It's very down. Okay. So what we are going to do now is okay, everybody will have to watch the recording of this class because the class will have to go on. So when your laptop comes on, see what you do. You go to you go to your browser. When you go to your browser, you okay. If you go to your browser, you go ahead and you type in Figma. Okay, I already have this thing here. Okay, so you just go to your browser. I'm coming. Let me log in as a guest and use. So you type in figma.com. When you type in figma.com, this is what comes out. This comes out for you. Please, who is unmuted? Mute yourself. Thank you. Okay, so when you type in figma.com, please, if you can follow through, follow through. If you have your system with you, follow through. You type in figma.com, this comes out. So what do you do next? You click on get started. When you click on get started, this modal pops up. It's loading. Okay, this modal pops up. Okay, this modal pops up. Go ahead and write, click continue with Google. I'm sure we all have a Google account. So click continue with Google and then you continue with the sign up. Okay, you continue with the sign up. When you click continue with Google, it gives you different accounts to choose from if it's already there. But if it's not there, you go ahead and type in your email address. You type in your email address and you continue with the sign up. You should know how to do that. But if you're finding it difficult, if you're finding it difficult to create an account, chat me up. Okay, chat me up. So after creating your account, and please note, you're not creating a professional account. You won't choose professional because a panel will come out for you to choose. So you won't choose professional. Choose that you want to use it for work, and also choose that you're a student. If they ask for your school, go ahead and put in your school. If they ask for year of graduation, go ahead and put in 5 years ahead or more. Okay, so that the plan can last for you. So when you do all that, you can always be sending me the step of how you're doing it when you do it. Okay, so that we follow through. So after doing that, this is what you're actually going to see. Let me show you. So after doing that, you should see this. It's loading. So after creating your account, it will take you directly to your workspace. It will take you directly to your workspace. Yeah. So this is what your workspace looks like. You have this panel here, all these things here. This is what your workspace looks like. So Figma works in a way that you have all your works, all the things you've created saved for you automatically. As you're working, it's saving it for you. So that is how Figma works. That is how Figma works. So what you're interested in here, leave all these ones, these two here, leave them. What you're interested in clicking if you want to start a design or open a new workspace is this new design file. So you go ahead and click on the new design file and it will start loading for you. So let's wait until that loads. Okay. Are we following? If you're following, please tell me. Are we following? Is there no one in the class?
We are following. Yes, we are following. We are following.
All right. So just tell me where you're having issue. You can always snap your screen and send to me on WhatsApp. So you tell me where you're having issues. So it's still loading. The network today is really bad because of the weather. It's still loading. So when it finish loading, you see your design workspace will be opened for you. So Figma is the software that we will be using to work. So everybody should ensure that they have a Gmail account. Then you go ahead and install an account with Figma. After creating an account with Figma, you open your workspace. So when you open your workspace, you should see something like this. Okay, when you open your workspace, you should see something like this showing you. Oh, this thing load now. Okay, so this is what you're going to meet when you open your workspace. So you have different tools that you can work with. You have the move tool, you have the frame tool. If you click on the frame tool, you see on we have the right panel and the left panel. Okay, the right panel is where you have the styling panel here. This is anything you click should come here and you style or choose which one you want. But on this panel you have the layer, that is the left panel, you have the layer panel. This layer panel, it arranges anything you do, it arranges it for you layer by layer, which one is on top, which one is below, and like that and like that. That is what the layer panel does for you. So as we continue designing, you see how it works. So now I've clicked on the frame tool. After clicking on the frame tool, let's say I want to design any of this thing here, maybe for phone, for tablet, for desktop, for presentation, for social media post. I can go ahead and click any one. Okay, now let's say I want desktop. Let me go ahead and click a desktop. So I've clicked the desktop. You see it will come out to your screen. You can see this white screen here. You press Control minus on your keyboard to reduce your screen, Control plus to increase, Control minus to decrease. You can continuously press Control minus if you want it smaller, continuously press Control plus if you want it bigger. So like that. Have in mind those keys. I'll be mentioning other keys as we continue. Control minus to reduce, Control plus to increase. You see minus on your keyboard there. After 9 and 0, you see minus and plus. So that is it. So this, you can see this desktop came here on the frame, on the layer panel, because we're working with the desktop, so it is there. If you add any other thing inside here, it will show inside here. So if you want to off this thing, you don't want anybody to see it, you can come here, see this eye icon that is highlighting here, you can switch it off. Okay, you switch it off, you switch it on again. So this, like I said, the right panel is for styling. You can see all of it here. You can see all of it here. So let's say we want to change the color of this thing. We come here, see this fill. You see fill. You click on fill, and the color palette comes out for you. This color palette. So you can go ahead and drag to change the color, drag to any place you want to change the color you want. You can still change from here. See this color palette here. You can change from red to orange, from orange to yellow to green to blue, dark blue, pink, dark pink, and red again. So one thing you should note is that we mostly use color codes in design. And how do we get our color codes? We go to Google, always be close to Google. always be close to Google. Google is your friend. So you go to Google. For example, I say I want maybe orange color code. I type orange color code, and it comes out. You can see different shades of orange that you can work with. Okay, let's say I want to click on images so that I can see more. So color code always starts with a H. Sorry, a hashtag. Color code always starts with a hashtag. You can see it here. It always starts with a hashtag. Okay, so it always starts with this hashtag, and the likes. So now let's say we want this particular orange, this EE9F27. So come to Figma EE9F27, and we type it here. See this place here. We type it EE9F27, and you can see it give us the orange. So some color codes are easy to remember. For example, black is 000, and you get black. White is FFF into six places, and you get white. So the default color for Figma is D9, D9, that's gray. You can see it. So this is how you work with color codes. Okay, and when we talk about the color, for example, you want to style this color, maybe you want this to have two different colors. You come here, click on this panel, and you see solid here. You click on the drop down, you see linear, you see radial, you see angular, diamond, and image. So how does linear work? You click on linear, you can see it brings out these two shades already. See the shades here. So you can click on this and maybe drag this here, and it becomes red. And let's say here you want another color, let's say you want white. So you drag it there, and it gives you white. See the white there, it gives you white, but the white is not showing because it's at 0% here. That is the opacity. Opacity increases and decreases the color tone. Okay, so let's say I want 100, I want the white to be showing at 200. You can see my white finally came out. So this is how you work with linear. You can always drag to this point, you can drag this one to this point. Anyhow, you can just style the angles anyhow you want. Okay, so after linear you have radial. Radial works just in the middle, it's just in the middle. This is radial. So you can also have multiple colors. You can click here, have another color, click here, have another color, click here, have another color. You see it's changing here. So you can come here, click on anyone you want to change the color, and you change it. Click on anyone you want to change the color, and you change it to whatever you want. Okay, be taking note of all these things. So you're going to work with these colors, and you show me what you did with the color, with your text, and the rest. Okay, so be taking note of how I did all these things. So that is for radial. Now for angular, if you click on angular, it just works on a particular angle. Okay, it works on a particular angle, so you can decide to change it to whatever angle you want. Okay, so yeah, you can decide to change to whatever angle you want. Then for diamond, it's more or less like a star shaped stuff. It looks like a star shape. You can see it here, looks like star shape. So it's the same thing, just change the colors and walk around with it. Then for image, you can click on the image, and this whole background, you put an image there. So how do you put an image? You click on this image panel here, and you see choose image. When you click on choose image, it takes you to your it takes you to your file manager, and You go ahead and choose an image. This is my file manager. You go ahead and choose an image wherever your image is. Wherever your image is, you go ahead and choose anyone, and it opens up for you. Okay, you can see it. So you can see it here. That is how the image works. But there's a plugin that we would install that would help us navigate this image stuff very well. Okay, so that is that about the color panel and the rest. So this is the shape tool. When you click on the shape tool, click on the drop down, you see rectangle, you see line, you see arrow, ellipse, polygon, star, and place an image. Again, you can decide to place an image inside um a shape. Okay, so let's say I want this rectangle. I click on rectangle and I draw. I hold my key and I draw. You can see I hold my key and I draw. So the same way we can style this, change the color to whatever color we want: black, red, orange, and the likes. Okay, so let's say I want a line. I want a line. I hold shift. Anytime you're drawing line, make sure you hold shift button. You hold shift and you drag. You hold shift and you drag anytime you're drawing a line. So you can see the line. You can see the line. This is the line. So this line, you can always come here. See this stroke here. When you click on the line, this panel will come out. So you can decide to increase it from 1 to, let's say, you want to increase this to 10. Let's say 10. You can see it gets bigger. So the more you increase it, the bigger it gets. Okay, you can also decide to style the line. Let's say I want a white color for the line. You can see it. Okay, it gave us the white color. So whenever you're trying to increase and decrease a shape, make sure you hold shift. Increase, you hold shift, drag, and decrease. Hold shift, drag, and decrease. Why am I holding shift? I'm holding shift so that this shape does not deform. I want the shape to stay the same way it is, maintain the same dimension, but I want it bigger. Okay, you can see it. Now let me show you. If I don't hold shift, this is what happens. You can see it's going out of context. It's going out of context. Control Z to undo anything you did and you don't like. Control Z to undo anything. Maybe you made a mistake and you want to correct it. You press Control Z to go back to the former state it was. Okay, make sure you note all these things down. So it works the same way for every other shape. You hold and drag. You click, hold, and drag. Make sure you hold Shift while increasing or decreasing. Increasing or decreasing, you hold shift. If I don't hold shift, this happens. This happens. If I don't hold shift, and we don't want this to happen. We don't want this. Okay, we don't want it at all. We want it to continue maintaining the shape is maintaining. Okay, so the same thing goes for polygon, the same thing goes for star. Okay, so I advise you to play around with the tools in Figma once you finish installing. So this is the text tool. I click on the text and I come here. I want to type something. I click on it and I go ahead and type. Let's say my Figma design. You can see it's very small. So since it's small, what do we do? Always remember the styling panel is on the right. The styling panel is on the right. Whatever you're doing, it will show you the styling panel on the right. So you can walk around with that. So you can see this text is small. I come to the text part here. You can see the size is 12. So 12 is too small. You click on the drop down and you increase and decrease. Okay, you increase and decrease. I'm using 48 now. You can decide to put in the number you want. Let's say I want 60. I type in 60. and it works for me. Okay, let's say I don't want white. See the fill here, you can change it from white to, let's say, black. You change it. And for text, we have different text. We have different text. If you click on this drop down, what we're using now is inter. You have inspiration, you have you have all this you have different type of text. I'll show you how to install this text, but some came already installed together with Figma. Okay, so all this text you would install most of them. So anyone you want, you go ahead and click and you work with it. Okay, anyone you want, you go ahead and click and you work with it. So when we talk about font and typeface, that will be for the next discussion we'll have. Font and typeface, I'll show you what this regular here means. Okay, this regular, what does it mean? So are we following, please? Are we following?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, yes, ma'am. Correct.
Okay, the other people, are you guys following?
Sure.
Okay, all right, so let's continue. So you see this panel here where we have the resources. When you click on it, this is where we'll install some plugins. After I finish explaining to you, I'll show you how we can install some plugins here in this panel. So this is where you come to install plugins. Then this hand icon is for when you don't want to shift any of your design, you don't want it to move, you don't want it to spoil. So you just go ahead and use it and you move it like this. You can see everything is moving without spoiling the design. Okay, then this comment is for when you start collaborating with your teams. Okay, I'll show you how to do that later on. You just click on it and you click on where you want to comment. Maybe you want to tell them, okay, change this color. Tell them change this color and they would see it automatically. You can see my picture is there because it's my Gmail. So you can see it here, confidence, 13 hours ago or whatever hour you used to, you just typed it and it tells you what I just said, change its color. So when they come, they know that when your team comes to the your design workspace, they know that you want them to change its color and you can go ahead and change it. So most times when you submit your assignment to me, this is how I vet it. Okay, I come here, I tell you, okay, shift this your design this way, move this your button this way, change the color of this button. Let's work with this. So this is what this comment is used for. Okay. Then if I ask you to share your work with me, to share your workspace, I don't want you downloading or snapping and sharing to me. No. You come here, you see the share panel, you click on share. If you click on share, this comes out. So I'll give you my email address. You go ahead and you type my email address there and you send me an invite. You see send invites here. So let's say I want to type my email address. So this is my email address. You can see send invite comes out. And the authority you're giving me is to only view. Only view. You can also give me authority to edit if you want me to edit your work. But when you're sending your work for me to mark, you only give me can view edit. When you maybe now create a team, because in the future as this class goes on, you create a team to work on with your project. So if you create a team, you can also tell them, okay, or you can have the edit access so that we can all work on this file together. Okay, so when you send me an invite, I'll get it in my mail and I'll come here to check your work. Okay, so this is how you send me your assignment. So or you copy the link and send to me via my mail. You can see copy link. Once you click copy link, it copies. So that is how you share your work. Okay, so that is that about some of the Figma tools that we have. So as we continue working, you'd see you'd see how to use other tools. So these are just the basic things you need to know for now. So you can see the layer panel. The first one we did was what? The desktop. The second one we did was what? The rectangle. And on top the rectangle, inside the rectangle, we have the line. Okay, you can see it's layering, it's arranging itself for you. So you want the to the ellipse. After that, we did the ellipse. So let's say, for instance, we want the ellipse to be at the back of the rectangle. What do you think we should do? We bring the ellipse down. You drag it down to the back of the rectangle, and you see it's at the back of the rectangle now. Okay, it's at the back of the rectangle. So if you want to bring it back to the front of the rectangle, you bring it back to the front of the rectangle. You can see it. So you can always rename all these things. How do you rename? You double tap. When you double tap, let's say I don't want this to be rectangle, I want it to be my card, or my orange card. You name it. If you know, you can always forget their names. So what do I want to call that one? Let's say circle, or gray circle. You rename, and it names itself. So this line you can rename it, this one you can rename it, the desktop too, you can always rename it. You can either double tap here, or you come here, see where it's showing desktop. You can come here, double tap, and it highlights for you, and you change it to pretty girl, or whatever you want to change it to. You can see it changes automatically here. So yeah, that is it. If you want to create a new file, you can either go back to the home and click on that panel I told you to click on, or you come here and you click on this plus icon, and it creates a file for you. So to rename your file, to rename your whole file, your design, see this draft here. You double tap on draft, and sorry, that went out. Sorry, this is untitled. Sorry, you double tap on untitled. You can see highlighted, and you name it my design, or whatever the name is, whatever name is that you're working with, and you see it shows there. So when you come here, you can see it's here, my design, and this is the new file we just created. So Figma automatically saves your design for you. Figma automatically saves your design for you. So we are going to be installing some plugins. I already have them installed. I want to show you how to install it, because I want you to install it. Okay, I want you to install those plugins. So you click on plugins. You can see plugins. You click on plugins. You go ahead and type in the name of the plugin you want on this search button here, and it comes out. Let's say you want to install matter color. Matter color. You can see matter color here. You can see matter color here. You click on matter color, and you come to this icon here, this three icon here. You click on it. Already mine is saved. I already saved it. So normally you should see save here for you. You should see save here. So you click on save to save the plugin. When you click on save, you run it to see how it works. Okay, this plugin would actually generate your color pattern for you, or your color palette that you're going to use in working. You're going to use it in working as you keep designing. Okay, so you can say it here. So let's say we want to generate color for this orange. So you copy the color code, Control C to copy. You copy the color code, and you come to this part and paste it, Control V. You paste the color code. So you tick make accents, and make free styles, and you create your palette. And you can see it's created all the colors you might be needing to work with in this design. All the colors you'll be needing to work with in this particular design. So you can see all the colors. And the good thing is it creates color style for you. We haven't gotten to color style, so when we get to color style, I'll explain what all these things are. But you can see all 14 styles. You have 14 styles that it created for you. See all of them. You can always use them whenever you want. How do you use them? Let me show you how you use them. So let's say, For example, you draw this, you draw a circle or whatever you draw, and you want to change the color. So you can come here, you can come to this part to see this fill. So close to the fill, directly opposite the fill, you see this icon here. You click on this icon and all your color comes out. You see all the colors it generated for you. So you can go ahead and click on any one and you change it. If you don't want this one, you click here and you change to this one. If you don't want that one, you click here and you change to this one. So that is how this plugin works. So I'm going to give you some plugins that you know or not. Did you get that?
Yes, we did.
Okay.
Sorry, can you do it again, please?
Okay, which one? Which one am I doing again? Let me install it. If I run, which one am I doing again? Is it the installation of the color or the running of the color? Which one?
The running of the color.
Okay, running of the color. Okay. So you come to resources. It would already be installed for you, yeah? So you go ahead and you run. You go ahead and you run it. So you can see the color code here. You can see the color code here. So you go ahead and maybe get a color code online. Okay, let's go online and say we want purple color code. So we can go ahead and take any of the color code here. So let's say I want this A306C8. So you come back to and you type A3068. So you have your purple. Let's do that again. So you run. After running, you type in your color code A3068. Make sure you tick make accent and make paint style. Then you click on create palette. When you click on create palette, it creates it for you automatically. So you can remove this and you just drag to where it's easy for you to work with. So you can see the colors you have. So how do you work with this particular color? So you want this, you click on this, you click on this, then you come to this particular place here where you see style, this icon here, you click on it and you can see the new colors it generated. See the new colors it generated for you. These are the new colors it generated for you. So you can go ahead and change the color to whatever you want. You can go ahead and change the color. If you don't want this shade of pink or purple, you go ahead and click on another one. If you don't want it, you go ahead and click on another one. So different tones of purple it creates for you. So this is how you work with this particular plugin. So like I was saying, I'm going to send you names of different plugins you need to install, and I'll send you a video that you need to watch to see what those plugins do. Okay, what those plugins do. And there is an assignment for you in this class. Who is unmuting? Do you want to ask a question?
Yes, I have a question.
Okay.
Uh, I noticed it updated to the new palette.
Yeah.
But if you want to use the former palette, what do you do?
Okay. The old palette is still here. I'm coming. Let me go ahead and Select everything. To group something, okay, you press Ctrl G. To group, you press Ctrl G because I don't want it all over my screen. Okay. Okay, do you know the reason why it did that? Because we actually did not name it. We did not give it another name. So we're supposed to give it another name so that we can work with it. But if you still want to work with it, this is what you can do, okay? You click on whatever you want to change the color to. You click on it. You come to the color panel. When you come to the color panel, you see this icon here that looks like a drop. You click on it and you take it to the color you want. Let's say I want to work with this particular color. You can see it's generating the color code for me. Let's say I want this one, is still generating the same color and the color code for me. Let's say I want this one, is generating it. So you just click on the one you want and boom, it changes to that particular one. Okay, it changes to that particular one. But if you don't want a situation where this repeats itself, let's go ahead and run that again. And so you can see where you can name it. They both had the same color, that is why it's not showing. So we can say my color, my color, and let's say whether we use this blue, and click on this too, and it creates for us. And you can see my color here. If you close it, you open this, you see that pink that was generated earlier, my cool palette. You can see the two of them are here because we've now renamed it. Okay, we now rename it. Who asked the question? Have I been able to answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Okay. All right, so remember to increase your screen, control plus; to decrease your screen, control minus; to group, you click on everything. Let's say I want to group this, I click on this first one and they are in the same line. Okay, they are all in the same, you can see it, they are all in the same line, so it's easy for me to group all of them. So I come to the first one, click on it, then hold shift on my keyboard, hold shift, click on the last one, and everything highlights. So when it highlights, I want to either delete it. You can press backspace, delete on your keyboard, it will remove all these things. Or let's say I want to group it. I want to group it so that it's easy for me to work with or move, or I don't want it on the panel. So you press Ctrl G to group. Ctrl G, you can see it has grouped. So you can see I can move it as one now. I can move it as one. I can move it as one. So even if you want to install fonts, okay, I'm supposed to show you how to install fonts, but that is when we do this fonts. I'm coming. Let me show you this. We're supposed to talk about our font. Can you see my screen?
Yes, ma'am, we can. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So we've talked about color. We're supposed to talk about typography. And when we're talking about typography, it's just written text. Okay. So whether we're using our phones, our books, websites, we're constantly interacting with text every day. You agree? So from our booklets, from writing, from phones, we always use text. So text always reflects the power or the mindset that the creator of that particular font or text has while he was creating it. So, for example, there are some texts that denote formality, playfulness, seriousness, importance, and the likes. Okay. For example, there was a time that I wanted to create something for a brand, and I needed a cheerful font. I needed a happy font. So I just went online and I typed cheerful font. So let's do that. So you can see cheerful fonts. So you go ahead, when you click on cheerful font, you can go ahead and download those fonts because they denote what happiness, they denote cheerfulness. You can see them like all these text now, they denote playfulness, happiness. There are some that denote seriousness. So let's see serious fonts. So you can even see their names are coming out. Their names are coming out. So you can go ahead and always check because just as colors pass informations, text too, you can see them. Text too also passes informations. So yeah. Alright, so what is typography? Typography is actually the art of arranging letters and text in a way that makes it legible, clear, and visible to the readers. It also makes it appealing to the readers. So text typography, involves font style, appearance, the structure of the font, and all these things. It's actually have a goal, and the goal is to pass a specific message or pass a particular emotion that that particular word is trying to give. Okay, so that's what typography is. So what is the importance of typography? Let's just note three importance. Typography builds a brand recognition. Typography influences the decision making of people. Typography also hold attentions of users. Now, let me ask you: if you go to a site and you see that the text are too tiny for you to even read, would you still remain on that site? I want to hear your answers. Would you still remain on that page, or maybe would you still be using that particular app?
No.
Good. Because the thing is actually blinding your eye, it can destroy your eye, and you're not even understanding what it says. So that is the importance. These are the importance of typography. Okay. So what are the elements of this typography? We have font and typeface. We're going to know what that is. We have the contrast. We have white space. We know what white space too is. We have hierarchy, just as we saw that layer, how it is being arranged. Hierarchy too is the same. You have the bigger one first, then the small one, then the medium, then the small, then the smallest. That is how hierarchy works. Then you have alignment and you have color. Okay, so these are the elements of typography. So when we talk about principles of typography relating to product design or relating to UI UX, we have some things that we need to know. Okay, the first principle is the terminologies. You have to know the terminologies used in typography. The first one is tracking. Okay, what is tracking? Tracking is just basically the spacing between the horizontal um, axis of a text or character. For example, when we talk about horizontal, okay, horizontal is this straight line. Eh? There's a way I used to explain it for you to people to understand. Horizontal lines are lines that are okay. The one that is sitting down or the one that is lying down is horizontal. The one standing up, that's this one standing up here, is vertical. Let me explain for you this. Let's use this line. Okay, so we can see these lines. Yeah, can you see? Can you see the lines? This and this. You can see them, right?
Yes.
Okay. So this tall one, this tall line now, as it's standing, all the things standing like this is the vertical. Okay. Then this one line down is actually the horizontal. So this is vertical and this is horizontal. Do we get it now?
Yes.
All right. So when we talk about letter spacing between um, that's the horizontal spacing between characters. That is what we mean. This here, this line here. So now the next terminology is the baseline. And what is the baseline? These are lines, invisible lines. You don't have to see them, but it actually helps. It's more or less like a guideline that helps you arrange your text properly. You can see how this alpha is written. You can see it's arranged on the straight line, this straight horizontal line here. So that is what baseline is. Then when we talk about weight, it's something that you can all relate with. If you even look at the text, you can see this one is lighter than this. So that means this is added more weight, and this does not really have much weight. Okay. So that's what weight is all about. Then we talk about leading. It's pronounced leading, not leading. It's spelled leading, but pronounced leading. So when we talk about that, we're talking about the vertical. Here we talked about the horizontal spacing, but here we're talking about the vertical spacing between two baselines. We talk about baselines here. So the vertical spacing between two baselines, that is what leading is. So this is for you to go and read. This 2, 3, 4, you go ahead and read it when I give you the material. What I want to explain is this number 5, the typeface. This typeface. Let me increase this. So you can see it, right? Can you see this typeface here and font here?
Yes.
Okay. So you can see the typeface for this particular text is Roboto, right? Then the font is the thin, the light, the regular, the medium, bold, and black. So this is the difference between typeface and font. Okay. Now let me show you a practical example in Figma. Let's use this text for example. And let's say I want Poppins. Poppins is a name of a typeface. So this is Poppins, okay? If you see Poppins here, if you click on this drop down, you see Poppins has different fonts. Poppins has thin, it has extra light, light, regular, medium, and it goes on. Even italics, it has it. So this is the font, and Poppins itself is the typeface. Poppins itself is the typeface. So that is the difference between typeface and that is the difference between typeface and that's what I want to explain. So you go ahead and read the remaining one when I send the material. You have to actually read it for your own understanding. So these are some of the plugins that you would have to install, and you tell me you've installed them. Okay. So that is that about typography, and we also talked about color. So a video has been recorded already and on how you're going to create your first landing page, and that is your assignment for this week until we meet again on Thursday. So you should submit on Wednesday. Wednesday is the last day. So each and every one of you should submit before or on Wednesday, okay? Because our next class is Thursday. So I want to see your first landing page. Apply all these things we've learned today. Apply all we've learned today as you're designing your first landing page. Don't worry, the video will give you guidelines on things to do on how to follow it. So do we have questions?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Each time we want to make, let's say we want to make use of the first one in this presentation, do we have to go back and go and run it? after saving it, after downloading it.
Okay, let me show you an easier way to get your plugins. Okay, that's a nice question, Favor. Thank you. So let me show you an easier way to get your plugins. You right click on anywhere you are, any part of your screen. You right click on your keyboard, and you can see all these options coming up. Okay, in these options, you have plugins. You see plugins. So all your installed plugins will be here. You can see matter color here. You can see other plugins too that have been installed by me. So if you install your plugins, you would see all of them here. So you don't have to go to this panel. You don't have to go to this part. I don't even go here. I only go here when I want to install. So the same thing for you. You only go here when you want to install. So if you want to use those plugins, you come here and you run it from here. You just click on it and it runs for you. So did I answer your question?
Yes, ma, you did.
Okay, so who else has questions?
Okay, I have another question.
Okay,
Okay, there is when you were trying to put your step behind
okay,
the rectangle, I
yeah.
did not get what you did there.
I only just dragged. You work with the layer panel when you want to change the hierarchy of that particular object. Okay, so let's do this now. Let's do this. So let's say, for instance, I want this circle to be in the front of this one because naturally it's at the back. You can see it, right? This is this circle, this gray circle. The name is gray circle. We renamed it to gray circle. Then this pink one here is in the front. So normally if we bring this now, if we bring them close, you can see because this one naturally here is in the back, is at the back of this particular circle. So let's say I want to change that. I want to change it. I want this pink one to be at the back of the orange one. So I come here. This is the pink one, is highlighted here. I drag it. Just hold and drag. Hold and drag to the back of that particular one you want it to be. And you leave it. And it works for you. Did you get that?
Yes, I did. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Who else has questions?
I have a question, ma.
All right.
On the assignment we're supposed to work on, is there anything specific you would want us to design, or we should just flow
Okay,
with
the
it?
assignment, the video I recorded was on an ice cream brand landing page, but you can go ahead and be creative. That is why you are learning product design, right? So you can go ahead and be creative. Give me something good, give me something that will wow me, give me something nice, give me something that you can actually even show to people that you designed and they'll be like, wow, okay? So just be creative. You don't have to follow my own design, but just follow the concept and get the concept of what the landing page should look like. Who else? So, in the absence of no other question, this will be the end of the class for today. So, I'm providing you with three materials. I'm providing you with three materials and a list of plugins to install. Okay, three materials, a list of plugins to install. And I'm supposed to show you one last thing before we go, how to install your fonts. Okay, so when you want to install your font, you go to your browser, and let's say you want to install a font, but maybe you don't know the name of the font or something. But I'm going to give you a list of fonts for you to install, but let's say you don't know. So I'm just going to go ahead and type fonts. So when you type font on your Google, you see different websites that you can actually download fonts from. So you can download from this data fonts, 1001 fonts, font space, even Google fonts, my font, and the rest. Okay. So let's say I want to try one. Let's say I want this data font. I go ahead and click on it, then browse through the websites to see different fonts that I like. Okay. So let's say I like this baby Aletta font, and I go ahead, click on download. There are some fonts that are paid for. You can see it's downloading here. If you look down here, you can see it here. It's downloading, but it downloaded as a zip file. So what do? I go to my file manager. I click on my file manager, and I go to my downloads because I downloaded it. So it should be in my download folder. It should be among the first things that are there. So this is it. It's loading. Let's wait for it to load. Okay, you can see it here. So how do we unzip this? You right click, and when you right click, you have options coming out for you. But mind you, if you don't have a file extractor, it won't work. So you can go ahead and install WinZip file extractor. It's easy to download and install. So write it down so that you remember WinZip file extractor. So you can see it's showing extract files here. So I'll go ahead, click on extract files, and it extracts for me. And when it extracts, it will still show you the same name, but it will show you, so you can see, click on OK. You go ahead and you extract it. Look at it here. Make sure you pay attention to what you're doing. So double tap on that folder that you just extracted, and you see the font here. This open type font file. That is what you should always know, that this is the font. Okay. You double tap. When you double tap, it brings out this for you. So you can go ahead and click this install here, and it installs. So how do you know it's actually installed? Okay, how do you know it's actually installed? Name is baby Alex, right? So you go back to your Figma, go to your text layer. Let's say I click on this text here, and where this pop-ins is, that is where you come to type. Let's say baby. Okay, I don't think it's downloaded. Okay, hold on, give me a minute. I'll be right back. Okay, so let's check the reason why that did not show. Normally it should show. Okay, let's go back and try to install it again. Install. Okay, so it's already installed. So why is it not showing? Normally it should show it's installed. So let's try another one. Um let's see, but it shouldn't mind whether it's capital or small. Shouldn't mind that. So I think maybe that particular font just has issues. So let's try from this 1001 font. Okay, for 1001 font, the one with I think the one with the red sign is free. Let's go ahead and check it. The one with the red sign is free. Yeah. So anyone with the red sign is free. So we downloaded this Manila. Let's go to our file manager and try to install Manila. Downloads. You unzip, right click. Remember, you right click, extract files. Okay, this is it. Double tap. Remember this one, open type font. That is what you should always be looking at. Install. Okay. So the name is Manila, right? What is the name again? Manila. I'm thinking this thing is having. I think my system is having issues, but just go ahead and try it. Go ahead and try it. It should work for you. I have some other fonts installed. If not, I would have checked those ones. I think that error message coming up after install is what is affecting it. So I'll send you some list of fonts to install. You go ahead and install them. Go ahead and install them and tell me when you do so. So this is where the class will end for today. Remember, I'm sending you list of font and plugins to install, two materials, that is the one for today's class, and a video that contains your assignment. So someone can go ahead and type it in the group so that I will do that immediately and remember. Okay, and I owe you video for last class and this class too. Video for last class and this class. So when I upload that on my channel, I'll send you the link. Okay. So so that is it for today's class. I'll be expecting your assignment on Wednesday, on or before Wednesday. I showed you how to share to me so that I can see. Okay, I showed you how to do that. All right, so take care, guys. Bye.